So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Roma Theory. We've got a tough live stream to get through because it's actually a negative live stream. Now, you know me, we love positivity, positive live streams, transfer news and all of that. But this is something very important. And this has been basically not leaked. It has basically been talked about, written about yesterday. And it's very, very bad. Now, it's definitely due to the fact that the pandemic has affected not just Roma, but many other teams. But Roma have apparently recorded the worst economic balance sheet in the history of the club. That, in other words, means that Roma have lost the most money in the history of the club over the course of this past season. Now, this is a tough live stream for me to explain because I still go to school. It's very difficult. I got my dad to explain a few things to me because he does work in that area. It's a tough live stream. I'm going to try and break it down and make it as simple as possible for everyone to understand. But the first thing to note down is that there has been a bad record. We have recorded the worst economic balance sheet in the history of the club. Now, this economic balance sheet is we lost 15 million euros more than the 2019-2020 season, and we lost 34 million euros more after the 2020-21 season. Now, Thiago Pinto has spoken about this. Thiago Pinto has spoken yesterday at the start of the transfer market. Thiago Pinto has given a few words when it comes to this and how this will change Roma's transfer market. Because another reason why this is so high is due to financial fair play. And I think we're really now getting an impression, an understanding of why our transfer market has been poor over the past years. Financial fair play is killing this team. And this is coming directly from the mouth of the general manager, Thiago Pinto. And the first thing which I want to do is read what he says when it comes to this. And obviously comment and explain it if some of you don't understand. Thiago Pinto has spoken yesterday in an interview and has said, within the settlement agreement from UEFA, one of the parameters to be respected is the transfer balance. In all transfer market sessions, the costs of List A players, which are those who are registered by the UEFA, let's say every player is, let's say the majority of players or List A players, because the majority of players are listed by the UEFA. So this cost of List A players cannot be higher than the costs of Lists A from the previous season. Cost means the player's contract, 100% of the bonuses inserted in players' contracts, transfer, commission, and depreciation. You're probably asking yourself, what the hell is this guy talking about? Well, if that is what you're thinking, I don't blame you, because I was feeling exactly the same thing. Then I got my dad to explain it better. And basically what this means, what Thiago Pinto is trying to make us understand, is that Roma can't do anything about the transfer market due to financial fair play rules set by UEFA. This settlement agreement is a UEFA agreement, which says that the sum prices of football players, so the sum price of a football player includes contracts, bonuses, and other more complicated things, but let's keep it simple. The sum price of one football player, of the football players which we buy, so including contracts and bonuses, cannot be bigger than the sum of the players in past years. This is significant because if we don't respect this, we have to pay 35 million euros to UEFA due to financial fair play rules. And frankly speaking, all we have to avoid now is paying more money. We have, as things stands, already paid 5% to 5 million to the UEFA. But if this settlement agreement is not respected, meaning if we spend more money on players, contracts, bonuses, inserted in contracts and all of that than previous seasons, will be fined an extra 30 million euros. financial fair play is killing this team. And this is why it's terrible. It's ruining us. It's absolutely ruining us. Another thing which is significant after this kind of sum of the year financial spreadsheet is that the money that we brought in was less than the money we spent. Therefore, the money that we got by selling tickets, by selling merch, by TV rights, and all of that has been less than the money we used to pay players, to buy players, to pay staff members, and all of that. In fact, 182 million euros out of 200 million are needed for wages of players and staff members within the club. That is something insane. 182 million euros out of 200 million euros are needed to pay players, wages of players who work within the club, and all of that, which is ridiculous. Tough moment. Very tough financial moment. What does this mean? This does not mean that we'll be very active in future transfer windows, if you ask me. If you ask me, the future transfer windows are going to be a big question mark for the club. And because even if we want to buy players, we would have to sell players. This is why, as things stands, the targeted players who would leave the club are Tammy. I mean, this is what people are saying, but players which could leave to kind of weigh down some financial budgets, or Tammy Abraham could easily leave, Zaniolo could easily leave, Ibanez could easily leave, and that is significant because we're kind of, again, following the footsteps of our past ownership. The best players we have, we sell. And we're not getting far if we do that. I mean, if you buy players, grow players, they become really good players, and then in the space of 3 years you sell them, it's definitely not a good cycle because you're then back where you restarted. So, I mean, it's tough. That's why the past ownership sold every single good player we have. Hopefully, we will keep some good players, but we're not going to keep everyone. So this summer, expect big players to leave. If that big player will be Tammy, if that big player will be Nico, I really don't know. But big players will leave. Big players have to leave. There's nothing the team can do. Financial fair play is bullshit. Why do we get penalized this much and bigger clubs don't? That's a really good question. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah. This also potentially changes our January window. And in fact, something which Thiago Pinto has said in this interview which he released is something very significant. He has said, with his own words, in this January transfer window, the chances of seeing Fratesi join for Roma are almost impossible. That basically closes and shuts down the deal between us and Sassuolo for Fratesi. And I'd actually be surprised if in this January window, even after all of these declarations from Thiago Pinto, which have depicted the financial state of this team as an absolute mess, I would be very surprised if we even buy one player in this January window. I would not be surprised whatsoever after reading all of these if in this January window we don't buy anyone. And don't be surprised if we don't do, because again, there is nothing this team can do if UEFA is constantly putting financial fair play rules on it and all of that. So I think this thing really changes your transfer window. I'm not saying we won't buy anyone, but I think we will buy one. I mean, already if we buy one, will be a lot. It's tough because it doesn't make sense. But then we've also got another big question mark when it comes to Jose's future. If this is the club, if in the summer we will have to sell big players to rebalance things out, Jose will leave. 100%. And apparently there's this clause in Dybala's contract which says that if Jose leaves, the chances of seeing Dybala leave are also very high. This statement coming from Thiago Pinto has really revolutionized our future. We will see good things because we'll buy players, but alongside following a path of buying players, we will also follow the path of selling players. And many of these players have to be big players. It was definitely unexpected, but I mean, and again, I'm speaking on the behalf of Roma because this is a Roma fan channel. Realistically speaking, every club is living tough financial states. Everyone. The pandemic didn't help. Look at Juventus. You know, it's not like we are in a worse position than many other teams. Everyone, due to the pandemic, is kind of being tormented by financial fair play, is being tormented by economic spreadsheets and all of that, balances and all of that. Everyone is living this. I'm just focusing in on Roma because I'm a Roma fan. This is a Roma fan channel. But you'll see that many clubs, in fact, every club is living tough financial states. Problem is, some clubs have got the power to go against the UEFA rules. We don't. So that is a completely different thing. Because yes, Real Madrid, PSG, Man United, Juventus, and all of those teams can live bad economic crisis too. The problem is they've got the power to turn down financial fair play rules. We don't. So at the end of the day, the ones who will get affected the most are us. And that's the cycle of football. The big solution to this, the big thing which comes to mind is, as things stands, in a world of football where values of players are extremely high, in a world of football where the costs are so high and all of that, the only solution to everything is whoever has Saudi owners gets the best out of everything. Because Saudi owners have got the money and other owners don't. I don't care if we're comparing, even if right now Roma get an offer, right? Imagine the Fredkins sell the club and we get an offer, right? Bill Gates, Microsoft teaming up with, what's the other clown's name? The Amazon guy, Jeff Bezos? Yeah, that guy. Imagine they team up and have got so much money. Compared to a Saudi offer, Saudi offers are the future of football. And that is why the teams which have got Saudi owners and teams which don't have Saudi owners are going to diverge so much. It's just going to be the two complete opposite sides. Whoever has Saudi owners right now gets the benefit of everyone. Because Saudi owners have got money up their ass. They can just pull money out of their ass and go against all of these rules. American owners, American billionaires, Russian billionaires, the competition between them and Saudi owners is non-existent anymore. So the solution to everything is, right, if we want to have less economic crisis, then we have to get Saudi owners, but we've got the Fredkins now. So yeah, we've got another tough thing. It's not done. I'm sorry this is negative. I'm sorry I've put a sad face on you today. We've got another thing. Now, I remember a few weeks ago, we talked about an Adidas takeover when it comes to sponsorships. Apparently, there is something in the contract between Roma right now have New Balance, and starting from next year, they should basically be sponsored by Adidas. However, New Balance is mad at us, and New Balance are apparently fined us because there's a rule in this contract between us and New Balance which we haven't respected, apparently. And the result of that, for us to get I want to make things simple for everyone to understand. So I'm going to give you an easy example. Us and New Balance are friends. Fredkins and the New Balance signed a contract to put New Balance on a Roma jersey. Roma haven't respected something in the contract between us and New Balance. And therefore, what New Balance is doing is they're basically fining Roma and forcing them to continue the sponsorship with them. The problem is, we already have an agreement with Adidas in place. And that agreement with Adidas could reach in the club. And if that doesn't happen due to the fact that we haven't respected this clause in the contract between us and New Balance have basically got the rights to say to us, well, you haven't respected this, now I'm going to force you to renew the contract with me and you. So you have to turn down the Adidas offer. And again, it's just like, I don't know, something has opened up and we said, today you're going to speak about bad news. I'm sorry, today I am going to speak about bad news. This is very bad news. Now, again, what really pisses me off is that we're now in 2023 and it's crazy how football fans have to worry about the financial state of a club more than the performances. That is how sad this sport has become. Is it normal for me to, instead of talking about matches, lineups and all of that, today worrying about money in the club? It's not right. Therefore, I think this will now further make us fight for top 4. If we don't get top 4, I really can't imagine how bad our summer transfer window could be. And again, I'm not saying bad because we're not going to buy anyone, but I'm going to repeat this. In order for us to get players starting from January, but let's say in the summer, because it's more likely to see big players sign in the summer, for us to sign big players, such as Dybala in January, in the summer, we would have to sell big. We would have to sell big players. Because currently, we're spending more money than what we get. Which is why we're living a tough financial period. But yeah. Looks like Tammy will have to be sold. Well, one between Tammy and... I hate to say this, but one between Tammy and Nico will leave in June. Like, I can put a sign on that. One player between Tammy and Nico, potentially even Dybala, will leave in January. In June, not January. So yeah, it's not great because it's kind of what we've been saying. It's what we've been saying. It's what we've been criticizing a lot with the past ownership, which is buying good players, grow good players, sell good players, and then you're back where you started. I have a feeling that has to happen again, but I really hope I'm wrong. Hopefully we can still just get a war. I would be happy with just him coming this January. Like that video. Thank you very much, Logical. It has to be a war because Fratesi is happening. Thiago Pinto said Fratesi is not happening in January. We're going to try again in the summer, 100%. I'm sure we'll try again in the summer, but we have to be careful. So yeah. The reality of everything is, and this is kind of revealing to us why we were signing free agents. We never knew a confirmation of why we were constantly signing free agents. I think we do now know why we signed a lot of free agents this summer. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I've said it many times. 2023, football is just big teams, small teams. That gap in the middle, God knows what will happen to that gap in the middle. But yeah, let's distract from this. Let's win tomorrow. We have to distract from this. This is not something which us, the players, the manager can worry about. This is something internally. This is something which has been revealed. It's something which the Fredkins will definitely, potentially, now that they're billionaires, could maybe put some of their money into the Roma project to kind of rebalance things out. It's not great, but I mean, we have to find a way. We have to find a way in the future. We'll see who we buy. I mean, I'll keep you updated. And yeah, let me think what I have to say. There's something I have to say. Oh yeah. This week we're having a live stream, just like we did this summer with Lorenzo Pes, the Roma journalist, to speak about transfer news and all of that. So we'll have a little interview with him, 20-minute interview. So prepare your questions and all of that. Let me quickly confirm when that is. Let me go on my emails. So yeah. Yeah, so Saturday, 7th of January. This Saturday, we'll have a live stream with the Roma journalists. So prepare your questions, transfer news and all of that. And maybe we can even get a broader insight of this financial depth and stuff. But yeah, I'll catch you soon. If you haven't already, please make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the link of my channel with your families and friends, and let me know in the comments your opinions. And I'll catch you tomorrow with a stadium vlog. Very exciting to be back. I'll catch you soon. Simon, out.